and control people and make a lot of money. If you look at the name Hollywood, Hollywood actually is a tree from the holly, which was made back in the medieval times when they used to make magic wands. So there's a lot of detail in history where it all started. As they started building up the studios, they took their money from the Nickelodeons. Paramount Pictures was the very first studio. Charlie Chaplin, Mary Pickford, they were the ones who started United Artists, because after it had progressively grown from the first decade, they made their own group of people. Douglas Fairbanks, Mary Pickford, Charlie Chaplin, and they were the ones who created United Artists. They collectively came together and said, look, we don't want the studios to control us anymore. We want our creative control. We want to express what we want to express. And that's how it kind of started from the beginning of the artists between the people that were controlling all the money and the interest. And it goes long on and on and on. The bottom line, it's about money. In the early 20s and 30s, it was always about money and control. And then there was a lot of the sexual nature that would come in. Hollywood attracted young, good-looking people, male and female. And sex was just as prevalent back then as it is today, if not more so.
You know, you mentioned earlier that you were talking about the religions and how they teach love, and then you said how Hollywood was the opposite. And you mentioned the word evil, but I would even take this a step further and call it demonic. And I think you're right. It is about the money, bottom line, but I think there's a spiritual war going on above all of the earthly things. Yeah, it's money, sex, evil stuff, but I also think it's just a spiritual war of good versus evil. And I just feel like the foundation of the entertainment industry, unfortunately, is demonic at this point.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. As we grow with technology, as we're advancing the human race, we're a lot more advanced. We're privy to information that we didn't even have 25 years ago. When I was working at the theme parks, there were no cell phones. There was no YouTube. There was no smartphone technology. Now you can call Australia, Norway, across the world, Bolivia, at the touch of a button. You can FaceTime people. You can send emails, text messages, look everything up online. So we've advanced in our technology, and we've grown together. Of listening and watching everything we do. You can't go anywhere in this world today without being videoed. There's cameras everywhere. We're recorded. Our voices are recorded. Our visuals are recorded. But to go as far as to say that there's demonic energy, a fight between good and evil, yeah, I think it is definitely at that point now. We're starting to see things in the world. People are fighting back and saying enough is enough. You know, why is this happening? Why are they letting them this do? Just in general, not just with entertainment, but in everything, with politics, with the world geology, Greenpeace, everything that's involved. It's supposed to be good and inherent to the nature of human beings is kind of the opposite of where we're at. So is there a sense of spirituality, of good and evil? Yeah, I think there is. I think they do practice demonic spirits. And I mean, just like you raise up your good spirits, you can raise up bad spirits. I mean, it may not be like The Exorcist from 1970s, but I think that if you send out negative energy, you're going to get negative energy.
But you know, you don't even have to be religious. If you just look at book covers or the movies that are out or the television shows, they're all evil. I mean, they're all about devils and witches and witchcraft and killing people, and eating people, and just
it's horrible.
There's
I
nothing
can't believe it's been 10 seasons of Walking Dead. So it's really bad. It's all about blood and guts, ghosts, brutality, mutilation, everything negative they're throwing right in our face, for sure. But what goes on behind the scenes? That's really what the whole question is. And, you know, so many people look up to their aspiring actors or their favorite musicians, and we worship these people. We really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We only see what we see, that's where we want to be, and that's who we gravitate towards. But these people have to go through a lot to get there, for sure.
Right. I interviewed a guy named Jay Dyer. He wrote a book called Esoteric Hollywood. I talked to him,
Esoteric
I don't know,
Hollywood.
2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, and he does analysis of film, and he was telling me, right, and he mentioned how the Pentagon and the CIA are behind a lot of even movie stars, which in the last few years I had heard Anderson Cooper was CIA, and what's her name? Angelina Jolie. I mean, I've heard this. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
Well, there's always rumors in the industry, who's doing what, who's involved with what. A lot of it's unsubstantiated. A lot of it is myth. A lot of it is partially true. You don't really know because it's so convoluted. It's like a big spaghetti wire mess. And eventually all the ends are tangled in the end. Anybody can say anything for the sake of making an argument, So what's really true and what's not, I don't know. But I will tell you this. The last movie that Stanley Kubrick directed, which was Eyes Wide Shut, I think that there's a lot of truth to that, and so do a lot of other people, about what goes on behind the scenes. And I think that you do partake in very similar things like that as you advance in the entertainment industry. And entertainment isn't just acting. It's music, it's film, it's television, it's sports. People don't even realize that our highest celebrated sports figures are involved with the same group of people. At the bottom of every show that we've ever watched, whether it be sports or something entertaining, it says for the purposes of entertainment only. It's in the fine print. And it's all about entertainment. We're entertaining the masses. So, yeah, they're involved with it too. People on TV, the news.
All right, well, we'll take our next. Yeah, that's another thing. The news has become entertainment now. Vince, let's go ahead and take our second break. Listeners, I'm interviewing Vince D today. He's in the entertainment industry, or was, and we're talking about the dark side of Hollywood. And we'll be back momentarily on the Truth Seekers radio show.